Donald Glover, whom you all love and adore because you should, because he's so talented. Childish Gambino, Community, Atlanta. He had a contract to do a animated show for FX about Deadpool. It was essentially like the Deadpool animated cartoon show, and it got scrapped before it ever came to light. Now, a lot has happened, but there is new speculation that it might have been scrapped and that the straw that broke the camel's back was an episode about Taylor Swift. So his brother, who is a co-creator, wrote, "There really was a Taylor Swift episode. It was hilarious, and it definitely was the last straw." He continues, "Our show wasn't too black. It wasn't really that black at all, but we definitely wanted to give Rick and Morty a run for their money, and I think we would have. Proud of the gang." This is over speculation about that racism might have been an issue. Anyhow, what do you guys think? 5 words or less.
So disappointed.
Sounds about white.
Wow, Daron, that was great.
Deadpool died too soon. So wow, that sounds about white. What does that mean? I'm white.
No, yeah. I mean mainly
Grace is whiter.
The content of the episodes that they apparently were gonna release, like one about Taylor Swift, one about goat yoga, which as we all know is a bunch of people doing yoga with goats on their backs. And they were gonna make fun of that, which I mean, I guess people don't really like it when you make fun of Taylor Swift, which white people don't like when you make fun of their queen, Taylor Swift.
No, but so here's the thing though, right, they don't. But you know, there was a show on a network called Fox called In Living Color, and they made fun of Oprah and every black act. So I think that, yes, fine. In this day and age, we have to be really conscious and super cognizant of the things we see on television. However, shows like Family Guy, BoJack Horseman, all these animated shows that poke fun at everything get away with it. I think a show about Taylor Swift would have been, or a comedy.
It's Deadpool.
An episode.
There was an episode
Deadpool
of Deadpool.
Right, no, I know. An episode of Deadpool about Taylor Swift would have been thebomb.com. So I mean, I don't. I think there's more to meets the eye than just that.
I completely agree with you, and I also think that the internet reaction agrees with you as well, in the sense that so many people are disappointed. Donald Glover, because there was this rumor that maybe he was too busy because he has his hands in so much stuff right now. He's all over the place. Right. He's putting out such amazing work, and that maybe he was too busy to do it. And so he tweeted out, "For the record, I was not too busy, and here's some like scenes from the finale episode." And he literally just on his Twitter just posted like pages of the script. Yeah. So funny, but definitely kind of controversial. Reminds me a lot of BoJack Horseman and Rick and Morty, like stuff that they've touched on. And those are beloved shows. Perhaps it won't live at FX, but I'm really hoping that this show will get a life somewhere else.
There's a lot of like inside Hollywood stuff at work here.
Politics for sure.
Yes. Animated shows typically get away with a lot more because you're not looking at someone's face as they're saying something terrible.
Right.
Another show that this brings to mind is Family Guy, who did get canceled at one point because it was just like too much. And the episode was When You Wish Upon a Weinstein, and it was accused of anti-Semitism. And here's what happens. Here is my theory, let me know what you think of it, is FX, totally cool network, amazing network. Same one that has Atlanta on it and has like a bunch of great shows, doing some of the best television right now. Says to itself, we are gonna continue this angle of doing like the best, most subversive television we can. And who's the best at it right now? Who's the it person we can sign? Donald Glover. What's the it, meta undercutting of regulations or whatever kind of person? That's Deadpool. Great, we have these two things together. Go. And you know what? We're such a cool network. We're so laid back, we're mellow, whatever. You knock yourself the F out. And they're like, really? They're like, yeah, really, go ahead, do it. And they're like, all right, I'll be right back. And they show up with scripts. They're like, you said to knock yourself out. And then these self-professed, laid back, mellow executives are like, all right, let's see how we're gonna win the Emmy this year. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Taylor Swift, oh, I can't do it. I'm sorry, that's it. We'll come up with some kind of thing. We gotta deal with Disney. Disney just bought 20th Century Fox, and Disney, the Mouse House, is like known for kind of stepping in and being like, we're Snow White. in more ways than one. We're like Cinderella, and everyone in Hollywood thinks that they're like the most laid back they could ever possibly be, and then they see it, and it just isn't the same.
And
what do you think?
In many ways, Taylor Swift is Snow White of pop.
Of music,
Of music. So I mean, sure, but that is a very interesting theory, Brett. There is definitely a possibility that that's sort of what went down. I am just sort of very overwhelmed with my disappointment at seeing this show because I love subversive cartoons. I have written very bad ones before that I wrote one that will never ever see the light of day. It was a pilot, and one of the characters was JonBenet Ramsey. Like, you can go there with a cartoon. Like, you can talk about, like, you can kind of really push boundaries, which makes it so fun and disturbing at the same time. And that's sort of why you watch. And I'm disappointed if it really is finally canceled. I'm hoping that this finds a home somewhere else, because this really has taken the internet by storm. People love Donald Glover, and some of my favorite episodes of 30 Rock were the ones that he wrote. I love Atlanta. Like, he's good at writing for TV. I'm so disappointed.
FX, wasn't their tagline? FX, fearless, you know, for the longest time. And they had like shows like Nip Tuck. I mean, Nip Tuck was pushing the envelope on so many things. Nip Tuck always had you mouth dropped at the end. So it's kind of hypocritical for FX. I still watch FX. I love FX.
But yeah, you never know what exactly happened.
I think it's politics behind the scenes for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like these networks do. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I think happened. May have happened. Here's. So what Grace mentioned is they dropped a bunch of pages of a meta script that was like self-referential about the canceling of the show. This has happened on other shows before, which is kind of amazing. There's one called Sports Night, where like it's Aaron Sorkin show, where like the last entire season was about how like the network needed changes and they weren't willing to do it. Arrested Development did the same thing. Some really amazing shows. He said, you know, I'm not mad about this whole canceled thing. Deadpool says in the script. I mean, is it even a good time to have a violent, gun-loving white man ranting on TV? Other than the president? And do you think they canceled the show because of racism? Yeah, but all the writers were black and the references were pretty black too. Maybe we were alienating our white audiences. No, we did a whole goat yoga episode, damn. I don't even know if that's true that they did a whole goat yoga episode. But yeah, what's the ideal thing you want Donald Glover to do next?
I think take this to maybe a Netflix or something, because Tiffany Haddish is partnering with the same people that did BoJack Horseman to do her own show. So we'll see. I think that Netflix is a really good home for cartoons.
Rian Johnson just signed a huge deal at Netflix in the wake of the Disney takeover. So maybe that's another aspect.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I think other networks are gonna see fans being like, hey, no, we really want something like this, and hopefully approach him.
Well, what do you guys think? Again, let us know on our social media handles.